Hello, my little piggies. Welcome to I Am a Bit of an Expert, a Peppa Pig podcast. This is Josh Chapman speaking. And down the line, we have our man in Adelaide, the co-host, Matt Frost. How you going, mate?
I'm very good, Josh. Good evening. How are you?
Good. We've really spoken about the geography. I mean, it's obvious that we're over the Skypes, but we are working on sort of, as you mentioned, the audio quality. It might already be better, but you are in South Australia, in Adelaide, and I am in Melbourne, in Australia. Now I have to prefix that because I've seen the download stats, and we get downloads from pretty much you name it. We've had Iraq and Kuwait and Taiwan and Thailand, Ireland, Scotland, England, Greece, Italy, America, Canada, Brazil, everywhere. So, you know, Peppa is universal and we with it are so. So I suppose people probably picked up from our accents that we are Australian, but who knows? We're not particularly ochre, are we?
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a country bogan, but yeah.
Well, we were both originally country boys, so I did spend a decade in England, so maybe I've had the accent shaved a little bit, and you've just embraced it.
Yeah, you were there a lot longer than me. It's got a bit of that Queen's English about you. So
Kylie Minogued it up a little bit.
Yeah,
as they say. So this week we're hitting gardening, and we're back with Grandpa and Grandma Pig. And what basically goes down this episode, Matt?
I quite like this episode. It's kind of one of the things that actually made me like Peppa. It's basically just just showing kids how gardening works. It's all those curious little Peppers and Georges out there. It's just a little bit of a nice little gardening tutorial.
Yeah, well, Grandpa Pig is definitely the gardener. He loves his garden. He becomes very protective of it.
Yeah.
This is sort of establishing, oh yeah, you know, he's out in the garden, he loves his garden. That's pretty standard for a lot of grandparents. What's your garden situation at your place? Have you got much of a garden out the back of your place?
We do, yeah. We're pretty lucky. We've got both a front and back garden, and we've got vegetables and 2 veggie gardens and a herb garden. My wife in particular, my mummy pig, she very much loves gardening, and I sort of like pottering around and helping with the infrastructure side of it.
So this is where we differ. My mummy pig does not garden. So we bought a house about a year ago, and we've been in for it since about January, and but a lot of the gardening and the maintenance has fallen to me. So I'm not much of a gardener, but I can certainly tell what, you know, I can clear things and prune things and mow the lawns, and you know, because we kind of moved in at the end of summer and went through winter, we never really saw, you know, what the garden could do. And then we hit spring and we had all these roses and all this sort of really nice stuff that came up, really. So it's been good, but it's a bit of a one-man show at the moment in the garden. And also Kat is heavily pregnant, so she's not particularly interested in getting down in the dirt.
What sort of an excuse is that?
I know. And but Olive, my daughter, she does love being in the garden. So usually, if I can sort of involve her in some way, usually sort of pick up the trimmings and chuck them in the green bin, or she likes to plant things, and we'll get onto the kids planting stuff. So yeah, no, this did ring true a little bit, and so it was definitely Grandpa Pig sort of running the show, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he was obviously getting a lot of the questions that you get from kids of Peppa's age. They take things quite literally, and I thought it was quite sweet. One of those times where Peppa really reminds me of my own kids. So.
Now, it wasn't a scathing commentary on millennials, you know, wanting everything right away. They plant the seed and then they're like, "Where's the plant? I want it right now." No patience.
Yeah, kids is I do like your hot take, but kids are just so literal, and they you know, and when you get a little Pepper or a little George that has quite good language skills, you forget you might be talking to a 3-year-old, and you'd be like, "Why don't you understand this? Why do you keep asking questions?"
Yeah, exactly. So it was funny because they're planting strawberries in the garden, and we were just down at the beach on the weekend, and we went to a farm just outside of the town where we were, where they had a strawberry. You could go pick strawberries. You know, you sort of pay some cash and you go out into their field and you get to pick a couple of punnets of strawberries and things. So it was quite timely that Pepper and George were trying to grow themselves some strawberries, and it was a funny one because it did a little sort of jump forward in time, didn't it?
It did, yeah. Like we needed the sort of the 6 weeks later, like little writing come up.
Yeah, and it had the voiceover doing the jump forward in time, which I've never really seen before. I don't know whether they've ever really done that. But I guess we're only a few episodes in, so they can set their own rules.
Yeah, and it was sort of probably necessary to it's what served the story, Josh. So
yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
move it along.
Yeah. So but it was and George got off a good joke too with his
he said
with his dinosaur. He's quite a good digger, too. Did you notice?
Yeah, well, that was the thing. He burrowed right in, didn't he? He sort of like he was digging for treasure, like he was looking for a hidden well or something. I didn't remember this episode off the top of my head. So I didn't know when I watched it the first time just for this. I was kind of like, oh, what's he actually doing? It's just a bit weird. But he certainly had his reasons. And, yeah, he got right down and dirty, didn't he? He needed a nice big hole needed for Mr. Dinosaur.
Yeah. And, he got the watering can once he'd planted. That was the big... We probably haven't really explained this. That was a big joke. Grandpa Pig asked if George would like to plant something, and he ran away and got his dinosaur, dug a hole, planted his dinosaur, and he even went and got the watering can to water the dinosaur. And they did the classic Peppa Pig trope of everybody laughing and then flopping on their asses. So it was.
And considering he barely lets that dinosaur out of his sight, he was pretty happy. I'm assuming he wasn't going to leave it in the ground, but maybe he was hoping he would grow another dinosaur or have numerous dinosaurs.
Yeah, well, we've discussed this before, and some of you might remember, but there has been some discussion whether Mummy and Daddy Pig have got a whole cupboard full of these dinosaurs, or on the other hand, is Mr. Dinosaur rare? I'm thinking like Woody in Toy Story. So
yeah, I think he's like an anomaly. He's a collector's item, but they just don't know it.
Yeah, I'm hoping they go somewhere with that.
Yeah, well, they might. We've only got 400 more episodes to go.
That's right. As long as it doesn't make me cry like Toy Story, but yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. So not much else to report on this one. Just a nice little family outing. It's always nice to sort of get some more of the family in. You do get a little bit more of a look at sort of Grandpa Pig's garden. He's kind of got apples and he's got all sorts of carrots. They're talking about carrots and things. There's a bit of a joke about carrots, and obviously George doesn't jive on carrots. How are your kids with carrots?
They're okay, not too bad. Yeah, they're a bit. I think one likes them cooked and doesn't like them raw, and one likes them raw and doesn't like them cooked. But that's just seems to be, I'm sure they get together and work this sort of stuff out in their bedrooms.
Just to mess around with Dad a little bit,
just to keep us sort of our eyes twitching and just that make mealtime just that little bit more painful. But yeah.
All right. Well, I think we'll leave it on that one. I think we've squeezed every nugget out of this episode here, and we'll. If you want to grab us on the old socials, we're at Peppa Pig Pod. You can leave us a review on iTunes. If you want to send a question about an upcoming episode, feel free to do so. We'll try and read them on air. We do usually, up front, we do usually record a couple in a go. So, it's probably better to go a couple of episodes ahead so we can make sure we catch you. Because we're not going to edit them back in afterwards. That's just too much work. Who can do that? That's a little bit behind the curtain there for you, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But we will be back next week with bicycles. No. Sorry, hiccups. Jumping ahead in time. We'll be back with hiccups. So thanks again, Matt.
Thank you, Josh, and sleep tight, my little piggies.
Yeah, we're playing a tune and we're singing a song with a bang and a bong and a bang. Bong, bang, boo, bing, bong, bing, bing, bong, bongly boo. Bong, bing, boo. Bing, bong, bing. Bing, bong, bingly, bongly boo.